Hello everyone, welcome to Green Dragons Gaming. Without us, they wouldn't feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So again, we're based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. We're actually playing up in currently in Phoenixville, up at a game store called Gamers Haven or Heaven. I'm sorry, Gamers Heaven, and it's kind of more like a video, like a arcade or a cafe. It's like a gamers cafe where he'll have board games, he has video games, like when I say video games, I'm not talking about like the old arcade, although he does have some of that. I'm talking about Xboxes, PS4s, and things like that. That people apparently sit down and do these huge tournaments with that. It has tables set up so that we can turn around and do tabletop gaming. There's magic everywhere, so really cool place. And that's where we're moving, and we're trying to grow. We're trying to um, grow our group because again, we have families. I myself am married with 3 kids and full-time jobs and everything else. So we're trying to expand, and that's actually what this battle report is going to be. So I know a lot of times we have tactics and things like that where we discuss it, but this one I want to say this is orientation 101. This is how do you turn around and how do you get a new player involved in a game? What does it take from us? And this is going to be a battle for KoE versus Dread Elves. So we're there. I'm there before Pretty Boy. I'm getting game in with that night, and I know some of them. Like you'll see one young man who I remember meeting over at another store, and he was interested, but he never sat down. He never tried a sample game. Um, and meanwhile, we've got an I'm biting my tongue because I have to say this, but an Age of Sigmar game going on behind us, and actually a very awesome group, apparently in the same area, called Basement Wargaming. So they play up there on Tuesdays and Sundays. We're trying to establish our Thursdays up there. So tabletop is definitely coming into the store, and because they do have Age of Sigmar, I'm hoping to get my quote unquote claws in them and convert them into the ninth age. To quote, I think Morgan underscore Treeman, I do see your point regarding bases, base size, and things like that. And you know what? I am going to, I like someone else's idea about just have it on the right footprint. All right. And until they decide that this is the way they want to go and take it from there. And what else? So there were two. So we had that table behind us. They actually showed an interest. A gentleman named Zach definitely showed an interest. Meanwhile, I knew this other gentleman, um, Jake, and as I said, I met him from previous store, and he was there. He was there to play Magic, and he was waiting on a couple guys. I'm like, okay, well, we'll show you. And he goes, no, but I'm interested, but no, not right now. So a couple minutes go by. Ryan's finally gets there. He's starting to pull out his stuff, and I see them over at the binder flipping through the Magic cards. And look, I know Magic is the store's bread and butter, unless they have a massive tabletop community, in which case models are going off the shelves, in which case Magic is still a good chunk of their store. Okay, so we're not going to be able to get away from that, and I'm not saying to, but I saw them flipping through the book. I'm like, you guys aren't playing a game yet. No, we're just kind of like chilling. We're looking at stuff. I'm like, tell you what, got the stuff all set up. What you tell me? This is what we brought with us today. What do you want to play? And do you want to play dwarves? Do you want to play um, dark elves, dread elves? Do you want to play Kingdom of Equitaine? So think King Arthur. Do you want to play orcs? Um, so really, what is it that you're interested in? So they turn around and looking at just think about the races that we just described. They pick the race. So um, this is Jake versus James, and Jake chose the Dread Elves, and James chose Kingdom of Equitaine. And so this is him setting up. So what we did here is we just had them do frontline clash. Okay, so so it was the good old fashioned classic game, 12-inch deployment and go kill the other man. the way I made these army lists. So I came, they're my models, or they were Ryan models, but these actually all happen to be mine. And I pre-made the armies. I have everything all packed up. I went on to Army Builder. I pre-made the list and said, here you go. So Jake's got a magic user, and he has, what else does he have in that list? Let's see, he's got 5 Dread Knights. He's got 15 Dread Legionnaires with spears. Both units have full command. And unfortunately, I don't think I forgot. He's got an assassin, and Army Builder let that go through. So after looking at it, I looked at it and go, I don't have 3 units in there. I messed up with that list. There should have been 3 units. So the assassin's probably going to get taken out and replaced with a unit, but that's what he has. Meanwhile, James, he's got a unit of mounted yeomen. He's got a unit of 6 Knights of the Realm, and he's got a unit of Knights of Forlorn. All right, so those are his 3 units there. He also has a Paladin. The Paladin has the Virtue of Might, has a Fortress of Faith, and gave him a Dragon Staff, okay, and Arm with Lance. So I gave him those items because, again, Dreadal's character heavy, has 2 different characters, which has also Magic Heirloom versus a really big, supposed to be a mass combat fighter. And so they went toe to toe, kept trading off, and eventually Jake won first turn. And we didn't help them at this point. We told them how things moved, how to wheel, but we didn't help them with tactics. We said, what do you want to do? How do you want this to move? What's your intention? Okay, here's what you want to do. So you're going to see a tactical misstep by James regarding the Mounted Yeoman, but end of the day, that's okay. All right, because they're going to end up having fun, and that's the name of the game. So we also, as you can see by the board here, that's kind of divided. So Ryan and I had laid out terrain and then talked to them to get them to play. So what we did is we played it on a 3x4. All right, that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. And we were using special rules such as re-rolling charge distances off of hills and things like that. But we're telling them that, like, by the way, if you do this, this is what you can do. All right. And there were several times James said, "Okay, but that's not what I want to do." All right, go to town. You know, what do you want to play it as you see it? So after his first turn, the way those spears got up there is Jake had cast Raven's Wing and moved them all the way up there. So James turned around and double charged with the Brick of Knights and the Paladin. In retrospect, the Paladin would have been enough to annihilate that entire unit. But, you know, live and learn. I learned something else myself this turn. So after the combat, because again, he's got no magic, the way he maneuvered his fast cavalry, he has no shooting right now. So the spears killed 4 of the 6 knights on the charge. Okay. The assassin did wounds to the paladin, but the paladin, I think the paladin's also got basalt infusion as well. So it's got a 1-up. So the paladin doesn't have 1-up. It just has the shield and the staff. So anyway, so the paladin just turned around, made all his armor saves and wards, so everything is all fine and kosher there. Meanwhile, the paladin himself killed 8. He killed about 8 dread elves on the charge. Okay, so he's doing his job. So the second turn, again, it was a misstep. I personally would have been using my what are they now? My mounted yeoman as chaff, or I would have charged it into the flank. To this way, he only had 1. I would have had him facing a different direction. But that wasn't for me to do. I made a recommendation. I'm like, look, just so you're aware, this is what your limitations are. He's like, I have a plan. Okay, go for it. Let's see what happens. Jake charges his knights into the Brick of Spears. They're only 10 forlorn, and needless to say, his knights end up killing 4 of the forlorn, and the forlorn, again, James was rolling dismal, only managed to kill 1 of his knights. And you know what? That's just luck. All right. The following turn, the knights finally do get him down to 3. Now, because he won combat, the mounted yeomen that James had moved close enough were within 6 inches. They failed their panic test. They broke and fled. So now the yeomen are fleeing, the Knights of Forlorn are fleeing, and the paladin is fleeing. Meanwhile, he's down to 5 spear elves, plus the assassin, plus the character. And he's down to 2 or 3 of the the Dread Knight unit. And then this is unfortunately what happened at the end of Equitane's turn. So on the following turn, it ends up becoming a total victory. He just runs the yeoman failed to rally, and everything else just goes off the board. So total victory. Or you know what? I should probably change it to flawless victory. I think I'll do that. And here are my key points. So this was a learning game. This is something that I'm very proud that we did, and we brought the armies. We had several armies to choose from different style races, and we made the list. There was only one list per army, so all you have to say is, what do you want to play? Do you want to play Dark Elves? Like, people already have their own established imagination regarding this, so it's like, you want to play the magic-wielding Dark Elves? You want to play the noble armored knights of Equitane? Like, just simple terminology just like that. And we were persistent with asking them. And again, I saw them, and then I saw them later, and they weren't doing what they said they were going to do. And that's how I got them involved. That's how, I mean, I'd already wet their whistle a little bit, but then I got my hooks into them. We helped them with the phases. We helped them with the rules. Ryan was next to Jake. I was next to James. We did not help them with tactics. We told them what they could and couldn't do, but we let them do what they wanted to do. End of the day. All right. We did not roll any of the dice for them. All right. As a matter of fact, we're sitting there trying to walk them through the charts. We didn't pick up the books. We didn't pick up Go Truly Crazy. It was a small game, so it really wasn't easy to do that way. We did not let them end the game early. We played to the end of the game just so they could see what it was. And believe it or not, the whole time frame of this was less than an hour. The whole thing, okay, was less than an hour from when we got them to having them pick their armies to placing to playing. Less than an hour. And James has never touched a tabletop game, and Jake has not touched a tabletop game for years. So basically, we had 2 people who never played that style game before. And no matter what, you don't rush them. Okay, Ryan and I, we were there. We were trying to eat our ramen because we were both hungry, and we weren't rushing them. We were letting them take their time. We were allowing them talk it through, and at the same time, let them. When one wasn't engaged, we were engaging that other one, because the one thing I love about this game, about the Ninth Age, is that both players have some semblance of responsibility in every single phase. And at the end of the day, they had fun and want to play again. And we were asked if next time to bring Saurian Ancients and Highborn Elves. And we turned to them and said gladly. So we're going to turn around, do a pre-made army list, have some toys for both those armies, and let them go to town. We told them where to go. If they want to design something different, just to let us know, we'll bring it. But we're going to start with this. Let them get a couple games in. Maybe then start bringing a couple different style lists, and do it that way until finally we can bring more for them to turn around and play. But we will also just turn around and say, all right, here's how we start collecting for the hobby, and let's start going that way. But again, we're not talking about people who have tons of money. All right, they're young men. I'm not sure college age or just after college, but they're fairly young men. Let's say 20, 20, 21-ish. And I know I myself, I know Ryan, I know Swell too, is Brett, and other members of the group. We're all willing to do that to try to expand our base. Now, we are expanding our base, and hopefully they may want to participate with our tournament in September. I'm not expecting that because, as I said, it's June, it's almost July now. We're trying to expand the base. You usually don't take a new player and throw them into a tournament scene, okay? Even though it's going to be kind of a low-key, more fun tournament. Any of you around the Philadelphia area who would like to come, it's going to be September 8th and 9th. It's a 2-day tournament up at Gamers Heaven. Lunch will be served both days. There's a little twist, but basically rules straight out of the rulebook, but there's a slight twist of to earn 1 additional victory point, or battle point, I should say. But that's it, just something to make it a little bit more fun as well. But that's it. This was a blast. We definitely plan on doing the same. Hopefully I can go out there on a Tuesday or a Sunday and get even more of these guys. And they seem like like-minded individuals. So I'm really excited to be able to try to go do this. That's what I would ask everyone else in the 9th age to do. All right, remember, we don't have a marketing department. We don't have people going out into stores to do this. Those people are us, and we need to expand our base. If you're losing people, guess what? We've always lost people. It's part of having a gaming community, but we need to regain those people. And unfortunately, people moving in the area or seeing, hey, this is a really cool model. What does this go to? You're right, that isn't there. What they need to do is they need to see the really cool game and learn how to play the really cool game that hey, look, they've got a model from Avatars of War, or they've got a model from, I hate to say this, but a model from GW. They've got a model from Tabletop Gaming Solutions, or Miniature Solutions, TMS. So these are all possibilities, and that's how we turn around, and that's how we build the base. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions or concerns, definitely feel free to post and reach out to me. Until next time, happy gaming.